Hello aspirants, welcome back to our channel Food Tech Online. So in this video, we'll be analyzing the further previous year questions of ICAR-PG Food Science and Technology 2024. So let us begin. Next question, which of the following are minimum processing technologies? So minimum processing technologies, basically they focus to preserve the food with least damage to their freshness, to their nutrients and to their sensory qualities. So first one is sauce vide. So it's a mild heating under vacuum. Means minimum quality loss will be there. Next, high pressure processing, that is HPP. So it is a non-thermal technology. Pulse electric heating. So it is also minimal heat. It is also less damaging the product. So it is retaining the freshness of the product. Radio frequency heating. So this is significantly heating the food product. So it's not a minimal food processing. So correct option should be A, B and C. Next, filtration is the process for separating. So filtration, it is a mechanical separation process where liquid they will pass through a filter medium and solid particles they will retain on the surface on top of the filter. So filtration basically works only when solids are insoluble, and if the solids are soluble, what will happen? They will get dissolved and they cannot be filtered out. So correct option is option number B, that is insoluble solids from the liquids. Soluble solids from liquids means it requires evaporation or crystallization process. Immiscible liquids from liquids. So it is done by separating the funnels, and immiscible liquids from solids. So it's not a filtration case. So filtration means solid particles which are trapped in the liquid which passes through it. Correct option is B. Question 103. In sterilization process, death rate is almost dash the initial number of viable cells. So in sterilization, what happens? The microbial death, it follows first order kinetics. This means that death rate is directly proportional to the number of viable cells which are present. It implies that more the initial cells means higher death rate will be there, and as the cells they will decrease, the death rate will also get decreased. So this results in logarithmic or exponential declining in the survival microorganisms. So correct option is A. Half of, so this is not correct, double and 4 times not correct. So more microbes means faster killing, means proportional relationship is there. Question 104, we have to match the equipment with its property. First is hammer mill, so it's impact force. Because it works on impact principles like size reduction. Cyclone separator, centrifugal force. It separates using the centrifugal force. Spiral separator means it separates based on the size, its density differences. So grain size. And indented cylinder separator, just now we read, because of grain shape or its length of the grain, better to say. So hammer means impact, means hitting has been done. Cyclone spin, that is centrifugal. Spiral is for side sorting, and indented is for side length or shape of the short sortings. Correct option will be option number 4, that is A2, B4, C3 and D1. Question 105. Heat exchangers are used to. So heat exchanger, it is used to transfer the heat between two fluids like liquid or the gas without mixing them. So it can be like heating a product, for example, pasteurization. Then we have to cool a product, chilling of it. So heat exchangers, they are bidirectional. So they can both add heat as well as they can remove the heat. Whereas option number A, that is heat the product. So only one function is there, cook the product. Cooking it in the broader sense it is showing. Maintain constant temperature. So not the primary function. So correct option is heat or cool the product. Option C. Question 106. As per FSSA, working surface of vending carts shall be clean, hygienic, impermeable and easy to clean and places at least dash from the ground. So according to the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, that is FSSAI guidelines, the working surface of the vending carts, it should be clean and hygienic, it should be impermeable and easy to clean, and it should be placed at least 60 to 70 centimeter above the ground. Why? Because it will prevent the dust, it will prevent the contamination from the ground, even it will improve the food safety, its hygiene quality will increase, it will ensure comfortable for the working heights. So for safe food, it should start above 60 centimeter. Option number C. Next, 107. Given below are two statements. One is labeled as assertion and the other one it is labeled as reason. So assertion, it is saying that Bacillus cereus, it is a pathogenic bacterium. This is true. Indeed, it's a pathogenic bacterium. Why? Because it causes foodborne illness like vomiting, diarrhea. So this is true. Now reason. As it causes foodborne diseases which has been classified by the International Commission on Microbiological Specification. Now it basically states that it causes foodborne diseases and it has been recognized and classified. So this is true and it explains why it is considered pathogenic. So this is a reason for the assertion and it is true. So the reason directly it is explaining the assertion. So our correct option will be both assertion and reason are true and it is a correct explanation of assertion. Question 108. Which of the following does not belong to Enterobacteriaceae family? So in Enterobacteriaceae family, Salmonella is there, E. coli is there, Shigella is there. Because all of them, they are gram positive, rod shaped, and they're enteric bacteria. Whereas Staphylococcus, it does not belong to the Enterobacteriaceae family, but it is gram positive and it is spherical, that is cocci. So correct option is option number B. 105. Biochemical test which is not used for identification of salmonella. So for identification of salmonella, commonly we do urea broth. Salmonella is urease negative. Then indole test. So in this salmonella is indole negative. MR VP medium, so MR positive VP medium will do this test. Whereas catalase test, it is not specific for salmonella identification. It is for many bacteria, including salmonella, not catalase positive. So it cannot differentiate salmonella species from other. So correct option will be option number D. Question 110. Dash are sexual spores of molds. So it is oospores. So these are the sexual spores produced by certain molds, especially the Humicites. Say for example, Phytophthora or Pythium. Whereas arthrospores, so they are asexual. Means formed by fragmentation process. Sporangiospores, they are also uh, asexual spores inside the sporangium and conidia. So it's also asexual. So correct option is option number A, that is oospores. Next question, which of the following is not a pigmented bacterium? So Halobacterium, it produces red pigment. Flavobacterium, yellow pigment. Micrococcus, so yellow orange type pigment, yellow to orange. Whereas leuconostoc, these are non-pigmented or colorless. White, it is having white colonies, and commonly they are used in fermentation like pickles or in dale. So correct option is D, that is leuconostoc species. Next question, liquid flows in a pipe at a velocity of 5.47 feet per second. What will be its velocity in meter per minute? So we have to convert it to meter per minute. So 1 feet 0.3048 meter. Just convert it. 5.47 multiplied by 0.3048. It is 1.667 meter per second. Now we have to convert seconds to minute. 1 minute is 60 seconds. So 1.667 into 60. So we'll get around 100 meter per minute. Option number B will be our correct option. Next question 113. Which of the following statements is not true about the heat resistance of vegetative cells of the bacteria? So first one is thermophiles are more resistant to heat. This is correct. Because thermophilic bacteria, they are adapted to high temperature. Bacteria forming clumps or capsules are more difficult to kill. This is also correct because they protect cells from heat penetration. Bacterial cells high in lipid are harder to kill. So this is also correct because lipids can provide protection effects, like they can have waxy coatings. Option D, rods are usually more resistant to heat than cocci. This is incorrect, or we can say it's opposite, because cocci, they're generally more heat resistant than rods. Cocci, rod-shaped bacteria, they are bacillus type species and they're less resistant than spherical. So correct option is, which is incorrect, that is option number D. Question 114. Dash ionizing rays or particles have residual radioactivity. That is why these are not used in food preservation. So the question is asking which ionizing radiation causes residual activity which is making it unsuitable for the food preservation. So it is neutrons, because neutron radiation, they can induce the radioactivity in the materials, and it can convert the stable atoms into radioactive isotopes, that is nuclear activation. Whereas alpha, they have low penetration activity, so no induced radioactivity will be there. Beta, they also have no residual radioactivity. protons, not typically. They are used for basically minimal activation compared with this neutrons. So correct option should be option number C, that is neutrons. And even neutrons, they can cause nuclear activation, they can leave the residual radioactivity in the food, which becomes unsafe for its consumption. 115. Which of the following is an objective of primary waste water treatment? So the primary wastewater treatment, they mainly focuses on the physical processes like the sedimentation process. So its main objective is removal of the settleable solids. It can be both organic and inorganic one. So it is done usually using the sedimentation tanks, that is known as primary clarifiers. So correct option is option number A, that is removal of settleable organic and inorganic solid. Whereas removal of coarse solids, so this is preliminary treatment, that is screening process, we can say. Removal of large objects, it is also a preliminary treatment. To write. And option D, that is removal of organic matter by biological activity. So this is a secondary treatment. So correct option over here is A. 116. The Environment Protection Act 1986, the competent authority RCGM, it stands for, so it stands for Review Committee on Genetic Manipulation. So it is an important regulatory body under the Environment Protection Act 1986 in India, and basically it oversees the genetic engineering research, it ensures the biosafety guidelines, and also it monitors the work which is involved in the genetically modified organisms. So correct option is option number C. Question 117. A characteristic cysteine loop in the structure of enterotoxin is seen in the toxin produced by. So the correct option is Staphylococcus. So Staphylococcus enterotoxins, they contain a disulfide bond between the cysteine residues. So this forms a cysteine loop structure, and this loop is important for toxin stability, and superantigen activities like causing food poisoning symptoms, whereas salmonella, they produces endotoxin, means no cysteine loop in the enterotoxin. Bacillus, it produces enterotoxins, example Bacillus cereus, but not the characteristic cysteine loop. Yersinia, so it produces different factor. So correct option will be option number D. Question 118. We have to match the enzyme with the organism. So first one, that is glucose isomerase. So it is widely used industrially for the HFCs production and commonly for the streptomyces, that is Streptomyces flavoglycis. A3. Protease. So protease, that is Aspergillus oryzae. It is a major industrial source for protease. Next, beta amylase. So it is Bacillus species which is well known producer for this amylase, that is Bacillus polymixa. And cellulose, that is Trichoderma. So it is a classic source for this enzyme. So correct option it is D2. So it is A3, B4, C1 and D2. Question 119. The leavening in idli batter is primarily due to. So the leavening or the fluffiness of the idli batter, it is mainly due to the gas production, that is carbon dioxide during the fermentation process. Now this is primarily carried out by the lactic acid bacteria, that is Leuconostoc mesenteroides, which produces carbon dioxide and lactic acid. And this carbon dioxide, it will form bubble, which will make the batter spongy soft. Whereas the other idli fermented species can be streptococcus, which produces the acid, which will give a flavor and it will even preserve it. So correct option is option number B. Question 120. The correct sequence or chronology of the following organization standards regulation. So correct first is FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization. It is in 1945. WHO. So it is World Health Organization. Basically, it focuses on global public health. That is 1948. JECFA. So it's Joint FAO and WHO Expert Committee on Food Additives. That is 1956. And CAC, that is Codex Alimentarius Commission, 1963. Which has been established by this FAO and WHO, and it develops the international food standards. So correct order will be FAO, then WHO, then JECFA, and then Codex. So A, B, C, D will be our correct order. Number 1. So with this, we have completed our discussion on the previous year question of 2024. So hope you like this session. Till then, thank you and enjoy learning.